So now we're going to go into what are called the key differentiations in nonviolent communication. The first one is the differentiation between being giraffe, right? Being this one here, and doing giraffe. Right? So just invite you to consider like what comes up for you when you think about being versus doing. Right? So I had given an example of somebody in their jackal who was really upset with me and yelling at me for their accusation that I was inconsiderate and didn't call them. Right. So now, what would doing giraffe be like if the doing giraffe was void of actually being giraffe, actually embodying compassion, embodying that sense of, wow, I care about you, I feel you, I got you. Right? Being giraffe is embodying all of those principles. So doing giraffe in that circumstance would be, I'm going through the motions, oh, sounds like you're upset that I didn't meet your need for consideration. You're probably irritated, and yeah, you're upset, disappointed, and want communication. Right? So that would be an example of I'm doing giraffe. Right? I'm coming from my head. I'm not feeling it in my body. It's kind of an analysis of what the feelings and needs are. Whereas being giraffe is going to be more in that like, wow, I can really feel you're upset right now and how disappointed you are that I didn't call you last night. And that really had an impact on you. It didn't meet your need for caring. It didn't meet your need for trust in me as well. And I would imagine that that's also shaken the sense of stability in our friendship. Does that feel like it's what's going on for you? So I went a little bit further and I just asked a question to see, after being giraffe, let me check and see, was my guess accurate? Right? Because we can never know for sure until we check in. So that's a bit of the distinction between being and doing giraffe. And one thing you could do as a practice is just think about times in your life when you've received like really, really high quality giraffe empathy, right? And when you've received kind of somebody giving you not such high quality empathy, right? It really feels like it's coming from their head and they're maybe irritated with you, but they're going through the motions anyway. Really get present to how that felt in your body. What's the difference between receiving somebody who's being giraffe, embodying empathy? How does that feel in your body? Notice that. And when you receive something that's just not quite, it's not empathy. It might be the words, but it's just not feeling it, right? How does that feel in your body? So everything that happens is going to stimulate some level of emotion and needs that are met or unmet. So every time we do one of these exercises, I do invite you to reflect on those differentiations, right? Being giraffe versus doing giraffe. To recognize, why is this important, right? How do I feel in my body when somebody is being giraffe with me? And how do I feel in my body when someone is doing giraffe, right? Take that in. Notice which needs are met in one circumstance, which are unmet in the other. And that really makes these differentiations abundantly clear. And also gives you the motivation to master being giraffe. This is not an easy thing to do, especially if you weren't raised with it, if it wasn't modeled for you. So I invite you to be patient with yourself. Again, there's no right or wrong here. So many of us, most of the population, was raised and trained to be more jackal than giraffe. A lot of people don't know how to give empathy. That sad. It's very sad. But all of us can learn. All of us can grow. All of us can deepen in this. And that is actually what creates the solution to this dilemma that Marshall Rosenberg was seeking to address when he was a child, right? He wanted to know, how do we actually make that shift? How do we go from jackal to giraffe? So with each of these key differentiations, I invite you to really feel into your body. Which one is life alienating and which one's life serving? Feel. Because, you know, we all have our tracking system. We can feel what is life serving. We can feel what is joyful, what is meeting needs, and what doesn't so much. And when we feel it, it just gives us that much more access to being able to upgrade the way we relate in the world.